PK and Darky Squid, take it away.
Hey
Hi.
guys.
How is everyone doing today? Okay, who left? I think it's Nitroz, whatever.
Yes.
So with me today, I have Darky Squid. If you are a Minish Cup enthusiast, you know the guy. So, Darky, who are you in a few words? You have 12 seconds.
I think I run the game, but I haven't run it for a while now. But I still have the 3rd place on the leaderboard, so yeah. Pretty much all
Okay,
I run
your
anyway, so
12 seconds are done.
yep.
Too bad for you. Yeah, Darky has been a very influential French runner, and he will be here with me today to do the commentary of this amazing race between Nitroz, Seceon, and Martin. So let's do a quick introduction of those 3 runners. Nitroz is the youngest one, as in he's only been running the game for a few months, and Martin is a veteran. He's been there for a few years. He has the most experience, and Seceon is right in the middle. They all have pretty similar PBs, and this is going to be a pretty interesting race, I think. So quickly.
Seceon having problem with his MU at 45 FPS, it seems.
Ooh, yeah. This is the Minish Cup 90% Mr. Spokes, so it's not rando at all. Alright, they are about to begin, so quickly, the Minish Cup, it is the 2D Zelda game from 2004 on the GBA, and pretty popular, especially in Europe. It got released a little bit later in the US when the DS was already in, so it wasn't as much of a hit, but it's actually a pretty good speedrun. The route changed quite a bit since, I think it was last year, with the new shenanigans, and okay, Seceon is having more issues. It seems it's okay. We're gonna fill in. Oh, all right. Goodbye, Flora. I didn't see that before. Holy shit! It's so slow on Seseon's end.
Yeah. It's trying to find the key to make the FPS go back up.
It's okay. But where was I going with that? Oh yeah, the run has changed quite a bit. Now the mid game is actually the very difficult part with a lot of new tricks that we will come back to a little bit later, and a bunch of manips have appeared as well. It used to be more straightforward than it is right now. The route actually kind of branched out between the easy route and the hard route, whereas a few months ago it was still one straight route that everybody could do, basically.
Exactly. The game didn't used to have lots of glitches, but now it has quite a few, and manips too. So yeah, the run got really interesting.
Okay, it seems like Seceon fixed his
okay,
MU. Alright, I think Nitroz and Seceon are both playing on MU, and Martin is on Wii U. Wii U being a tiny bit faster on save time, but every other load is slightly slower on Wii U. But in the end,
it's like 20
it's
seconds
about 20 seconds
yeah.
for any percent.
Okay,
yeah,
so
this
everyone's
is gonna
ready.
be any percent. Oh yeah, countdown is being run.
So they're all gonna soft reset
at the beginning
because they're gonna want to manipulate the RNG right at the start and get a blue rupee in a pot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're gonna see. Okay, so it seems Seceon is a bit behind because he did a hard reset, because on emulator you are supposed to do a hard reset to show you put the BIOS.
Isn't Nitroz on MU as well?
Did he? Probably, but I
did he have
think he bothered.
Yeah, he doesn't expect a PB.
Yeah.
stuck to see the new shenanigans. Well, depending on when you last saw a run, Broody, it's either gonna be around 30 minutes in or around 35, 37, something like that. And right after TMC, stay tuned for, I think it's third and I never know how to pronounce that,
Schneeheide, I guess.
Yeah, Schneeheide for FSA co-op. This is gonna be a blast. So the intro of TMC is known for being extremely boring. You have to watch a bunch of cutscenes and you do mainly text mashing and some movement, and you enter the first dungeon at around 10 minutes. Nothing really interesting happens before that.
Just
but
the manip right there.
Yeah,
that I
this
talked about.
manip. Which is really a godsend, because the rupee route in TMC is pretty straightforward and easy, but there was this single 5 rupee missing, and back then I think
You had
the
to
first...
get a chest
Yeah,
in the first dungeon, which was quite slow, but actually you can just soft reset and the RNG is set so that one of the pots on the left right there drops 5 rupees, so it's perfect.
Yep, and why do we need to soft reset? Well, because it sets the RNG always at the same value. It's a game on GBA, and GBA, just like GBC, and maybe some others, but I'm not so sure, maybe the Genesis, they all behave the same in the sense that when you reset the console, you start at a generic RNG value, and then only specific actions actually call the RNG and updates its value. Like in this game, it's about rolling, doing a sword slash, using the boots or the ghost draw. Every time an enemy has to take a decision, like should I go up, left, right, or down, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a really easy manip there, so everyone got it.
Surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
No, it's a really easy manip. So what's happening there on the screen? Darky, why are they at a festival exactly?
It's because it's the festival of the Pickery. I don't really know the lore exactly, but I guess it's a festival that's held each...
once every 100 years, I think.
100 years, I guess, yeah. So
Which is kind of stupid, because
yeah,
I mean,
not really a good idea.
because I'm pretty sure nobody lives past 45 in the Zelda world, because it's pretty medieval. So it means that on average, only 1 out of 3 generations can see that festival happening. How do they even know how to do it? Like, I don't know, who teach them? But
I don't know, dude.
yeah. And so Zelda is actually our Link's childhood friend, and she comes in on like Saturday at 8 a.m. be like, hey, yo, do you want to go to the festival? And Link is like, yo, let me sleep, please, just leave me alone. And the smith is like, yo, I just built that sword, you need to bring it because the winner of the tournament is gonna get that prize, and we'll get to say hi to the king and see the magic 4 sword.
And so
So-
here's Paddy, the winner of the tournament.
He is the winner of the tournament. And talking of winner, welcome to all of our raiders. This is the Minish Cup. It just started. And so for those of you who know Japanese, you know exactly what's going on. For those of you who don't, well, first you should learn it. And then what's actually happening is that Vaidi chuckled and was like, so this is it. Now all that's left for me is to open that sealed magic box kind of thing. Of course, the soldiers do not agree with that, but they get obliterated.
Yep. And Zelda gets petrified.
And yeah, Zelda intervenes with a force power light thingy. And Vaidi is like, nope, that's not gonna happen there.
And actually there's nothing in the box, only monsters.
Yep. Nothing in the box. And so Vaidi teleports somewhere outside, and well, first RNG part of this run, I suppose, the maid can be in your way, which is extremely annoying. But
Usually it's fine.
yeah, I mean, it's always fine if you pay attention and adapt.
Yeah.
And so Link was actually not petrified, even though he got in front of Zelda, and the king says, okay, I have a big secret to tell you guys, the Minish actually exist, and only kids can see them, which is pretty convenient, because Link is 10, so we're gonna send him in the forest, take this sword, and just, okay,
Yeah.
good luck, and goodbye.
Just send the 10-year-old with a sword. That's fine.
This is extremely fine. And now is when you finally have some free movement, I guess.
Some rolling.
And yeah, you're gonna see a bunch of rolling because this is the fastest form of movement until we get the boots. And even when you get the boots, actually rolling is still better sometimes. You can roll once every 28 frames, so it's really becoming a rhythm game at this point. With a pretty interesting twist is that at the beginning of your roll, Link is invincible. You have iframes and you can actually roll through enemies. And
You actually have lots of iframes. It's pretty easy to roll through enemies, just like
Yeah.
Martin did.
but the thing is, just because of that, it makes the movement in that game a never-ending ceiling. Just because you can roll and it's faster, sometimes you want to walk a little bit before rolling to be even more optimal, and with all the enemy RNG you want to adapt each time, and that makes it very difficult to master.
So just so Ezlo.
Yeah, who's that green guy?
So Ezlo is that green
Duck. Looks like a
duck-looking
duck.
thing that will actually be with us for the whole game. It's actually
He's
like
getting
the
bullied
guy
by
that helps us.
Octoroks.
And yeah, he's a bit slow, so what he's gonna do is he's just gonna go on our head and be our hat.
And I really like that idea because like Link has always had a green hat, right? And why? And this game is like you know what? This is just gonna be your companion, and I like it a lot. So
Yeah.
Ezlo is always very sassy, but there he actually teaches us how to turn into a Minish because he has some magical powers. Don't ask, we don't really know how. And
Maybe we'll know later.
maybe. And so every time you see a tree stump like that, you can turn into a Minish. You only need to watch the cutscene once. About that pond where Martin is waiting and Seceon and Nitroz are coming, you can actually get on the first lily pad, but it's frame perfect from the Minish cutscene.
No
So-
one got it in a run ever.
So let's just say, yeah, it's not happening. And so the gimmick of that game is to have the world that you can explore twice in a way. Once as human Link and once as Minish Link, where everything is bigger around you since you are way smaller. Kind of like Link to the Past with a light and dark world, or I don't know, some other stuff.
Yeah, so the game has actually a quite small world map, but it's actually really dense because there are always some small things that you can go in as a Minish. So yeah, there's actually lots and lots of things in this game.
Yep, it's especially in Hyrule Town. And so there, Link comes into the Minish village and he cannot understand what everybody else is saying. But there's a priest who picked English, or I guess picked Japanese as his second language, so he can manage to explain us that we need to eat some nuts to learn how to speak Minish. So if anyone asks you how do you learn how to speak Minish, you can be like, you just eat to eat these. Eat what? These nuts.
Just eat the nut.
And basically, well, something that's pretty interesting is that in the Japanese version, all the Minish speak in katakana instead of hiragana. In EU, the text is mirrored, so like instead of saying hello, it says hole. And and in the NA version, it's just some gibberish because they were lazy.
So we're in the first dungeon, Deep
And we
Shrine.
enter Deepwood Shrine.
A pretty cool dungeon, but there are no glitches, sadly.
Yep, the glitchless dungeon. It's a dungeon in which you are gonna get interrupted by Ezlo a lot because, well, first dungeon kind of explains to you all the gimmicks and the mechanics. Like, oh yeah, you can pull a lever. Oh, okay, cool. And it's the mushrooms. And something about those exotics is that you don't want to be rolling when you trigger them, because if you do, you're gonna basically lose a second because the game is gonna wait for the end of your roll, and it doesn't matter at what part of your roll you are. So it's just slow. It's not a huge deal because it's only a second, and you learn pretty quickly how they are to avoid them, but still something to take into account. Those enemies, the puff stools, are the worst. You can kill them yet, and even when you can kill them with another item, it's just too slow and
yeah. So you
annoying.
just want to try to roll through them, but with the spores on the ground, your rolls are really like you just go like 2 tiles away with a roll, so it's pretty hard to roll through them.
Yeah. Tommy asked, in katakana, do they use any other language? I don't think so. I'm not knowledgeable enough about Japanese, but I think it's just the right words and everything. It's just that it's another way of writing it.
Hey guys, can I quickly read a donation just to get it out? Because it's been
feel free
sitting around. So Baby Shark 3 donated $100 saying Pog, these I love. Pog you, indeed. And also Andrew Dittman with another $69 nice.
Nice.
According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way a bee should be able to fly. For a nice bee guy, and I couldn't donate $68 to round it off. Thank you so much, Andrew, for all your continuous donations. We are only $29 away from 4K.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, so I'm having trouble to watch all 3 of the runners. I'm mainly watching Nitroz and Martin because they are next to each other on my screen.
Yeah, but the first dungeon is basically just rolling and
first dungeon is
enemies.
I would say it's the hardest to optimize because it's mainly about your movement and reacting to a lot of enemy RNG, but it's also the most frustrating because it's a lot of small things and I don't know, enemies that are not cool to deal with. But here we see Nitroz and Martin coming in to fight the Mother Pillar. You can do it in 2 cycles. If you do it in three cycles, you actually have to commit Sudoku. It's in the rules.
Yeah.
And it seems easy enough to do it in 2 cycles, except that if you start hitting its tail before it's fully weak, you get bounced back so far away. It's really a disaster.
Yeah, it can always happen. And usually when you get to 3 cycle, you instant reset.
Yeah, I actually got a 3 cycles a few days ago and I didn't reset, but it hurt my soul so much. And so after killing the Mother Pillar, they got the Ghost Jar, which is basically the Sucky 9000. And what are they gonna use it for? Well, first of all, to blow spiral webs and to cross the water with the lily pad, because Link cannot swim. You need the flippers to do that, but can you imagine grabbing the flippers in a Zelda game in 2021? I mean, no, we're not gonna do that. Do you want to explain how the lily pad works, Darky?
Yeah, so basically you just use the Ghost Jar in a direction and the lily pad gets bounced back in the opposite direction. And so yeah, the movement is kind of sketchy, because if you use the Ghost Jar in the wrong direction, then your whole route is messed up. So yeah, you have to adjust as you can.
Basically, yep.
Right now it's going really good for each 3 of them.
Yeah, Nitroz didn't manage to get the small slide right before the chest, which is probably something that's like 2 seconds tops, but always makes me feel miserable when I fail it.
It's no big deal, really.
Yeah, but it feels like it is. And so this is one of the 2 mandatory lily pad section. Thanks God. Oh no, Seceon was a little bit too hasty there. And thank God we have only 2, because this is very awkward to use. And so now they are grabbing the boss key. Finally, after around... well, actually, we see Seceon split, so we know it's been 5 minutes since they entered the dungeon. And they're gonna go fight the boss. So the chest on the left in Martin's and Nitroz screen is the chest we used to grab for rupees back in the days. Which is before I even started running in end of 2018, so quite a while.
So as we can see, the boss is actually a
small
regular
shoe.
shoe that's just going in the dungeon, but because you're a Minish right now, the shoe is gonna be really, really big.
Yep, which is, I think it's a very nice touch. Like, it's only a simple chew. Like, who the hell cares about such a pitiful enemy? But when it comes in front of you, you realize, wait a second. And Nitroz is being quite unlucky with the chew that jumps, and Martin as well. So this boss is heavily, well, you can mainly manipulate it, but there's some RNG aspect of it which are minor, but that are still there. And there are 3, well, I guess, yeah, 3 RNG parts. On the first 2 cycles, it depends on how many hits you're gonna have to deal to the chew, which is between 5 and 9. And on the 3rd cycle, the chew is either gonna charge at you, which is optimal, or jump, like it's doing for Nitroz and Martin. And when it's jumping at you, you can actually skip 1 jump if you are very optimal with your Guzjar sucking, which is very difficult to do, yeah. Very precise. Alright, all 3 or 4 runners are still very close to each other. Surely
Yeah,
Martin and
beginning,
Nitroz
they're all
are
gonna
basically
be
synced.
pretty much at the same time, because there's not really any glitches or anything in which they could lose a lot of time. But it's gonna change when they enter the second dungeon.
Yeah. Alright, and here they are getting the earth element, the first of the 4 elements. Because yeah, we didn't say that, but the king told Link to go see the Minish because they are gonna be able to help him with how to reforge the 4 sword to save Zelda. And the Minish Elder, that guy in red, said, oh yeah, you need to go gather the four elements. There's one dude there. Random Chu was holding the earth element. I don't know if he was holding it or if he...
I think he grabbed it or something.
Yeah, he grabbed it just before we entered or something. And there, one of my favorite moments in the run, all 3 of the runners are gonna get bombs. That guy is an outcast. He's literally outside of the Minish village. My theory is that he was doing some weird stuff with
he makes
bombs
so.
and other experiments, and he got kicked out of the Minish village. And so now, more rolling, we're gonna go back into town because we need to go now grab the second element and most importantly to reforge the sword. And so we need to go to the mountain, which is called Chronol in English, and I don't want to say how it's called in French and Japanese because it's just too hard to pronounce in English.
Yes.
And,
so they took that wind crest there.
Yep.
It's like the point on which you can warp when you get the ocarina.
Yeah, it's a fast travel point.
Yeah. And so there's that weird guy with children.
The hurdy-gurdy guy. He's like, yo, what's in the box?
Bag.
What's in the box? What's in the box? It's Kinstones. But fusing the Kinstones is too slow, so we just 7 quit. On a side note, doing that small manipulation locks you out of doing 100% of the game, so don't do that. Unless you know what you're doing.
Can't you do the fusion later?
No, because he
You can
has...
go to the guy later.
You can go to the guy, but he has a shared fusion.
Oh yeah, it's a different fusion, okay.
And so, as in every good Zelda game, Link, who is a kid, doesn't know how to use a sword right off the bat, so he has to learn how to do a spin attack. And now, I'm gonna guess they're all gonna do guard skip. Do you want to explain it, Darky?
So guard skip is basically you're gonna fall in the water and that's gonna make you respawn on the tile you were before, but the tiles of the path and of the bridge, I don't really know why, but you can't respawn on them. So it makes you respawn right next to the guard and then you can just roll past him. It saves like half a second.
If you do it right, and if the mailman doesn't get in your way.
It's actually not really worth it doing it,
but
it looks really cool. So.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And so they all grab the bottle for a hefty price of 20 rupees, and to get that they try to do what we call a roll lift. The way you use bombs is you can either drop it and it's gonna explode in, I don't know, like 5 seconds maybe. If you pick it up and throw it instantly, it's gonna explode half a second faster. And if you do a roll lift, which is you drop it and you roll 1 frame after, and the bomb kind of bounce, it's gonna explode 1 second faster. It's some small optimization that, well, it doesn't hurt to go for it. And now we are in...
It's not really worth doing for any of those bombs here,
But I do, okay? I do.
Okay.
And this is our second Minish portal, and now all 3 of the runners are in Chronal, which is an area that's pretty dangerous. You have a lot of enemies, and you only have 4 hearts, so it's really easy to lose a bunch of health. And now, Darky, what are they gonna do in that path? What Martin just got? What is he gonna do with that plutonium water?
Yeah, they're gonna use some radioactive water to water a seed later, and yeah, with that the seed is gonna grow, so...
It's gonna grow very big. And when you are playing casually, most of the time you don't know you're supposed to go there, and you climb half the mountain and someone's like, yo, you should use some super extra cool water, some Mountain Dew for extra hydration, and you have to climb all the way down to grab it.
Yeah. This section is pretty annoying, yeah, when you're playing casually.
Yep. And as you can see on all 3 screens, Ezlo is not only our companion, it can only be a hot balloon, which is pretty cool. I wonder how it feels. Like...
So here's the seed that we're gonna use.
Yep. So we can see on Martin's screen and now Nitroz, you have 2 pestos, 2 fruit flies that are on the way. And most of the time they're gonna leave you alone, but when they don't, they don't.
Yeah, they can be on the way, and you really have to not panic, because if you do, you can press B, and then you're gonna use your water.
You're gonna spill your water, and that's not what you want.
And you're gonna have to go all the way back to get it.
And yeah, Link is very strong. He has like ant-like strength per pound or something, per size, I don't know, which really makes you think, because if Link can lift a seed that's like 25 times his size, could he pull a pot that's on approximately the same size, you think? Well, the answer is no.
And there we saw they used the gas jar through the wall to
the
mushroom. You can just do that, it's not even considered a glitch.
It's not a glitch.
And so there's this guy that gives you the grip ring, so we're gonna be able now to climb on those weird looking, weird looking walls. Yeah,
the walls, climbable wall. It's actually a pretty decent time for everybody. Martin was around 24:40. Seceon 24:45, and I didn't pay attention for Nitroz, which are very good times, honestly, especially for no reset race like that. And we can see Nitroz and Martin doing the big climb, which is, well, we don't really have a name for it, but for the sake of this marathon, let's call it the climb of death, because you have rocks falling everywhere. You usually have very little health climbing, and every rock deals half a heart of damage.
Yeah, right now Seceon is at 1 heart and a quarter.
Gonna be on beeping health really soon. And as if it wasn't enough, once you're done, you have to pull that mushroom. Oh, and
Martin got
Nitroz.
hit by the Piat.
Oh, and
Nitroz too.
Nitroz
It's usually
too.
pretty rare.
Yeah, it usually never happen really. You want to patch him to the Tektite. No, Nitroz.
Oh no, he fell.
You want to patch him to the Tektite because as soon as you grab the mushroom, the Piat kind of behaves. But this can happen. And then right here, another bit of trivia that I like a lot is when you enter this path while it's raining, ZeldaSpeedRuns stops you and is like, yo, dude, it's raining a lot. You should pay attention because those are gonna deal more than just a bit of damage. But they deal a quarter heart of damage, which is the lowest amount possible. So it's just a freaking liar.
And now we're in the rock pushing section. So
The best part of the run.
lots of puzzles, which aren't really interesting.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you only have those pushing puzzles in Chronal. Really?
Yeah, all the other ones are skipped.
Mm-hmm. So, rock pushing, then block pushing, and then there's gonna be more rock pushing.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is in those caves.
Yeah, is anyone gonna do the roll through the beetles? No, no one does that. I'm sad.
You can actually roll through the enemies near the wall, but it's not really faster. Just for the task, it's faster.
It's not fast, but it looks cool.
That's true. But thing is, the enemies can deal you half a heart of damage.
Yeah, they can actually damage you,
And
That's
as
true.
Nitroz and Seceon are on half a heart right now.
yeah, maybe they shouldn't.
Yep.
So here I think the game intends you to use a boomerang there for that switch, but bomb works just fine. Because you can buy
I
the
think
boomerang.
it's intended to use bombs because
Oh, yeah?
there are some pots giving you bombs.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right up there.
No, Seceon, what have you done?
Oh no, he failed the puzzle.
Well, it can happen.
Yeah, you try to optimize your movements, and sometimes you don't really go the way you want to.
It's kind of a huge time loss, but in the race it just makes things more interesting, I guess. And now we see Martin entering the mines with some nice music that you will hear in a few seconds because audio is on Nitroz. So the mines you have, I don't remember his name, and his 7 apprentices. So
I don't remember what it's called in English.
I think it's Melari, but
Malari, exactly.
I'm not sure. And so it is like, okay, give us the sword, we're gonna reforge it. And by the way, it is my duty to tell you this is not how you reforge a sword.
You don't just use hammers on it.
Yeah, that is not how you do it, but whatever. And so he grants you authorization to go into Cave of Flames to get the fire element. And so Cave of Flames, the second dungeon, very heavily RNG as well, but at least you have some skips and glitches.
Yep.
Hey, just quickly, we cracked the 4K. Thank you all
Oh,
so
nice.
much
Oh,
for $4,000.
good
Thank you, ADN, for $30 saying 4K ZSR dab. Here's my dab, you couldn't see it. And also Delilah for $29 saying, Tress, you sleepy nerd, we love you. Hey, I mean, there's things you have to say and things that are just normal, you know? But hey, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, everyone, keep those donations coming, and more importantly, feel free to ask some questions about the run, because Darky and I, we I've seen it so much that we sometimes don't think about explaining it, the interesting details. But yeah, so Cave of Flames, so far so good. It's only some, well, but basically all the rooms are pretty heavily RNG.
Yeah,
Especially in this one
enemies.
where one Nitroz is, with the Elmozor that can charge, be in your way or not. And
Got a really good RNG.
yep, I wanted to do it, but I didn't do it on time. Shoutouts to the Oracle games and the lame minecart. We actually have not good minecarts in TMC, so suck it.
Yeah.
I actually like the Oracle games. It's all in good fun.
Yeah, those are really good games, but really bad minecarts.
Yeah, really slow. Oh yeah, something we didn't really mention. When you are in a Minish state like Nitroz is currently, you can roll every 25 frames instead of 28, so the rhythm isn't exactly the same. And there's some more intrications with how the movement is. Moving in diagonal is optimal in Minish, but not in human. And also at the end of your roll, you have some staggering lag kind of thing. And so it really changed how you want to move as a Minish.
All the movements are pretty different. So they are going to do the first real glitch of
Yep.
the run, I guess. So basically what they're gonna do is they're gonna go inside the hole that we can see on the left, and they're gonna jump out in diagonal, and they're gonna keep that diagonal angle by like using the sword, for example, and with that they're gonna be able to just grab the pillar and pull it in diagonal. And what that does is you can erase the transition between the two rooms, so you can just go out of bounds. And
Yeah.
you can just go to a room that you're not supposed to be able to access.
Yep. I don't know if it's really an out of bounds per se, but the thing is, you take the object of the pillar and you put it at the same spot of the screen transition, and so the screen transition disappears. And then the idea is you want to touch another screen transition, but somewhere else. And that's exactly what they did. So I think Seceon was on the bridge. I'm not sure about the two others. But
Martin did it correctly.
Martin as well.
Seceon, I didn't see.
Didn't see. Well, I guess they all did the bridge
bridge.
strat. Bridge strat is what we also call a big D strat, because if you mess it up and you end up on the lava, you are soft lock and you lose 2 minutes.
Yeah,
And it saves like maybe 8 seconds compared to the save strat.
definitely worth.
We are here gaming. So this was the mini boss, I guess, well, at least the fight that give you the item. Really straightforward fight with the spin attack strat.
Yeah, just
And-
two speed attacks.
It gives you the cane of Patchy, which
Yeah.
allows you to flip things. And then another cool minecart.
And now we got another glitch, pretty much the same way.
Yeah, pretty much the same idea. You're gonna use an angle retention to pull the switch and its pillar diagonally, and then you want to put it inside the wall, and then you're gonna get another diagonal angle and grab it, and by grabbing it with a diagonal angle, you're gonna be pushed behind it for some reason, and you can damage boost with a roll bite and get on top of the wall. But all that for what? Well, all that to get on the second layer, and you can just
go to the boss.
enter there, yep. So here all the runners are getting a ferry for safety, because this is a race after all.
It's actually not for safety.
Come on!
I mean,
It's not for safety, yeah. You will see in a bit why it is necessary, but it's necessary for two things. And then they are fighting Gleerock, the best boss in the game. So Gleerock, you just, well, as most of the Zelda games, you want to use the item you got in the dungeon to defeat the boss. And this is exactly what you do there. You flip its, I don't know, carapace, is it in English? Lava Lapras, exactly.
His shell, I guess.
Yeah, his shell. And then you can really fuck him up. And something very important, you should take a look at the walls, because there are some carvings that might look familiar.
Might look like a certain boss.
Exactly, rock on the wall. And so, classic 3-phase boss. You can optimize a bit by waiting on the corner when he starts to spit fire and lowering him on the top of the screen. But it's very minimal. It's like maybe half a second in total.
Yeah, overall
Whereas
it's a pretty straightforward
Nitroz is
fight.
gaming. No, Nitroz. Okay. Well,
Oh no, he died. That was a safety.
but now he needs another fairy.
He's
We'll
gonna have to
see.
get another fairy.
We'll see how he's gonna deal with that. But it's
It's not too bad. You can get one in like 5 seconds.
can you? You need one instantly now. Why are you gonna get one?
Oh yeah, that's true. You need one instantly now.
Well, this is gonna be a tough
yeah.
one.
He's probably gonna have to go down the wall and back up.
Yep. So this is pretty big time loss for Nitroz. But anyway, so that was B-Rock, the second dungeon, and now it's when things get very crazy, because well, we're gonna follow Martin for reference, because Nitroz needs.
First, we're gonna go back to Melari.
Yep, we're gonna go back to Mallory to get the sword. So only, I don't know how much was it, only 7 minutes, and he actually managed to reforge the sword using non-orthodox methods. So that's pretty damn good.
It's pretty good.
And now, well, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but Martin and Seceon are gonna do a trick to cancel Link's hitbox. You basically spill your fairy and you cancel it by reading the sign. And then they want to lure that rock beetle.
Get damaged.
Yep. And they want to lure that rock beetle in a specific spot. And the hitbox thing is not only to not get damaged, it's also to be able to do that. So not sure exactly how it works either,
It's
but
really well
the
done by
idea,
Martin.
yep, first try, that was very good. The idea is you want to push him and then get in position on the right corner, and by doing so you either do with shield and Gaja or with a sword turn, and then you can get squeezed and thrown out, I don't know. And the idea is to get exactly where Martin is right now. Doing so, you skip the best cutscene in the game, which is a tragedy, but you can read that sign and trigger the boot quest instantly.
Yeah. And that saves a lot of time.
Around a minute.
Not much, but yeah, around a minute.
But most importantly than that, it reroutes everything, because now you... Well, what we had to do before was go fuse the sword with the 2 elements and then move around the beach, watch a cutscene and so on. Now fusing the sword is delayed until after the 3rd dungeon, but what it means is that you need to do the 2nd dungeon without the ability to clone, which makes the game much harder for beginners in the mid-game, essentially.
Yes, so now it's the boot quest, which is pretty much more movement.
Yep. And so the story of the boot quest is that this guy, the shoemaker, he is known for his superpower. He can build shoes when he's sleeping. Well, truth is, he's not building shoes when he's sleeping. The Minish on his desk are, and they built us some Pegasus boots to run really fast, but, and that's a big but the final touch can only be done by the shoemaker, who's called Rem. Pretty fitting, am I right? And so you need to find a way to wake him up. So let's see, you have bomb, you have the Suki 9000, you have a sword, you have I don't know, other tools. How are you gonna wake him up?
I'd say by using a mushroom.
Yep, you're gonna buy some drugs to the
It's
local.
logical.
to the local drug dealer called Syrup, and you're gonna make him sniff it that he wakes up, basically.
So yeah, we're trying to go to the witch or the drug dealer, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
And she's in the forest, but you have to go all around, like go through the ranch and all, just to get to where she is.
Mm-hmm. And so the ranch is actually closed because Talon is the mythic, and he actually locked himself outside. Luckily, when a kid that's 10 years old comes to him and he's like, "Yo, I got your keys," instead of saying, "Yo, who the fuck are you? I'm calling the police." It's more like, "Yo, dude, thank you so much. You can come home any day for dinner or anything. It's on us, really."
And so here's the witch.
And here she is. Yep. So mushroom was 60. You had 20 for the bottle and 40 for the grip ring, and that's all the rupee route in the game. We don't need any more rupees now.
Yeah, so now we're gonna get the Pegasus boots and go to the Castle Wards, where it's gonna get crazy again.
It's gonna get really crazy. So in short, what's gonna happen in Castle World is everything is gonna be skipped except getting the bow. So it's gonna be three small spots instead of a big chunk like it was before. First, get the bow. Second, do a Keystone manip, a manipulation or energy manip to try and get 3 green keystones that are gonna be useful for later. And then do another manip to try to lure a P-hat at a specific spot and use it to clip on the second layer.
Which is really hard.
Yeah.
It's
All of
probably the hardest trick in the run, I'd say.
All of that is fairly new, question mark, like around a few months, maybe 6 to 9, I don't know. But yeah. It might be the hardest because it's still kind of new. But yeah, it's definitely very, very tricky.
Yeah, we still don't really know why it works. I guess that's why we find it really weird and hard.
And especially hard. I think it's been that long, Mighty. Probably January or February or something. I'm not so sure. So Martin is dealing with the second and last lily pad section of the 80% route. Fighting those beetles who deal half a heart of damage each, so...
Yeah, you really need to be safe here, because you will need to have at least 1 heart and a quarter, I think, for the manip.
Yep. Yeah, because and RNG manips always work the same, but the drops depend on your state as Link, so it depends on your health. If you have more than 1 bombs, if you have more than 11 rupees, yep. So first is Kingstones, so he's gonna try to get 3. 1. That should be good. 2 and 3. Alright.
Manips are always a bit sketchy in this section because there are so many enemies.
Yeah. As we said at the beginning of the game, enemy movement raw RNG, and there are so many enemies on that area.
Manip the P-hat correctly.
Yep. Ooh, we got him.
Just needs to not kill the P-hat now.
Yeah. Ooh, that was so close.
Yeah, that was really close. Because he's gonna use it for, like, to clip.
Yep. And so the idea is to lure him on that bridge. And, well, I would have killed the snake myself, but...
Yeah, it's a bit... Okay.
Okay, I feel like he's doing exactly the same mistake as I do all the time, which is... Yeah, which is to... Oh, no.
Oh, no,
No, don't do it like that. Yeah, so the bridge is on the 6th of another layer, and now it's gonna be difficult to get the P-hat out.
It's gonna be a bit long to get him back into position.
Okay,
Okay,
Nitroz killed him instantly.
this trick is so hard.
Okay,
Okay,
Martin got it.
So now basically you can just go wherever you want.
Yep, and so no need to grab all 3 golden kingstones or to do all of win ruins. Actually, we knew how to get to this dungeon instantly, but it required the ocarina, which is a reward of that dungeon, so that was kind of pointless.
Yeah,
And Seceon got it pretty fast, so now he's
nice.
on par with Martin,
But it's not the end. There are gonna
and
be
it's not
still
over.
lots of manips in this dungeon and glitches.
And now, yeah, at the beginning of Fortress of Winds, you have 3 options. Either you do it manipless and you try to lure the armors to do what we call armor clip, or you do a 7 quid to do armor manip, or you do a 7 quid to do what we call armor sandwich. And that's exactly what Martin is doing. And so...
Looks good.
No. Okay, so...
Actually,
Martin
try to get
Martin
into
decided
position.
to clip, and the last kingstone he need it will get with classic armors clip. Let's see, Seceon looks better.
I got it.
Seceon
So
got it. So yeah, got sandwiched by both the armors and managed to pull the lever.
It's not
And
too
Nitroz
hard,
got
but
the Pihat
you
quit.
have to do a pretty long manip.
Yeah. Well, as most manip, the longer it is, the harder it becomes, because you have more and more room for error, and it's more about all the intrications that you need to learn and how to react to things. But okay, so now Seceon is on the lead, Martin on his tail, and Nitroz maybe a good, I don't know, minute behind for now, but it's still
Yeah.
everyone's game, really.
And Seceon didn't get his kingstone either, I think.
I did not.
I don't think so.
Okay, so first Dark Nut of the game. It used to be the second, but now it's the first, since we skipped the one in Castle Wild.
And it's
let's
a
see.
RNG fight, you
okay,
want him
so-
to charge so you can kill him instantly, but he's
If
never
he does that-
charging.
Yeah. You can still kill him in 2 cycles most of the time. Nitroz decided to reset upon failing armor sandwich. And now Seceon got the Molmits, which is an item that's, I don't know, quite underwhelming. It's much better in Rando or in the Vanilla when you explore everything than in any percent, really. In any percent, it's only used there, I think, like
Yeah,
to do.
it actually has a secret use.
Or does it?
I mean, you can use it on a portal.
Oh
As
yeah.
you're gonna see right now.
And yeah, well, right now Seceon is doing another manip, which is the good old armor clip manip.
And he's gonna try to get his kingstone too.
Yep.
That's good. So now he's gonna use portal items, which is a glitch that allows you to use pretty much any item on the portal. And when you use the Molmit, you go a bit up, and if you use a bomb to boost you, you can just go on the ceiling here and go to the boss directly.
Yep, it's a 4 to 5 frame window depending on what pixel you put the bomb, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's not that precise.
Still a little bit, but yeah. The main difficulty with portal items here is to, oh, that was very nice from Nitroz, is to do it fast. Like you drop the bomb and you need to get the portal items instantly, and then you need to jump on the right window.
And now the boss, Mazal, is pretty straightforward too. You just use the bow on the ends, and then you get inside of him, and you hit
That's kinky.
you slash the right pillar. Yeah.
Yep. And so on the first phase, you can see where the pillar is, and then it's covered in sand. But you know that it can never be at the same spot twice. So then it's just a matter of optimizing your
Twice in a
movement.
row, like you can get the
Yeah.
same spot on the first and third phase.
Yeah, exactly. And on the third phase, well, first you can clip through the ends with the sword, and on the third phase, it's actually optimal to use boots and bow, like Seceon is doing. But yeah, Marzal has always been an ass lately, and he's using the hand you try to target first.
But at least once the boss is done, it's like you've done the hardest part of the run. All the glitches are behind you, pretty much.
Is it though?
I mean, the whole Castle Wilds and this dungeon.
But then
is
you
really
have
the
you have
hardest part.
OGs, you have Lake House OGs, you
Yeah,
have
that's
Buzz Drop
true.
Whipping.
But I don't find those glitches as hard as the ones we saw.
Yeah, but it's because you've been doing them for 10 years.
Probably.
But yeah, so that was Marzal, one of the best bosses. I really like Fortress of Winds as a dungeon. It's really short and intense and hard. Kind of like Dungeon 3 in Link's Awakening.
Nitroz at 1/4.
Ooh, Nitroz is really close to dying. Right now, everybody's keeping the heart piece because it's actually optimal. You want to be at half a heart for just before entering the next dungeon, but before trying to enter that next dungeon, it's time for Tingle Quest. And what's Tingle Quest, Darky?
So Tingle Quest is a quest to get the magical boomerang. So you have to fuse Kingstones with 4 of the Tingle brothers. And you have to speak to Tingle, the regular one, the green one, to make the other Tingle brothers spawn. So now people are just gonna go pretty much everywhere to fuse with the brothers. It's kind of all there is.
Yep. And Seceon is fusing with the Indian guy, which is gonna come in deep.
Stranger.
Come on. And yeah, so there's an egg somewhere. We're gonna touch it later. Voluntarily talking to Tingle. Yep, this is vanilla for you.
Sadly have to.
Right now, Seceon has a little bit too much health. Well, I guess Martin
It's
too.
fine.
But yeah, I mean it's fine, especially since now you do the Moblins fight before.
Yeah, and Nitroz at 1/4 is
He
it's gonna
believes.
be hard. He has to go really safe.
He believes. And yeah, so this is where the route has changed, because back in the days before the pirate clip and other stuff, what you would do is basically just fuse with the 4 Tingles and grab the boomerang and then do what we call Lake House OG and then enter the Temple of Droplets. But now in the middle of that, you also want to go and fuse your sword, because you actually need clones to... Well, you don't need it per se, but
It's really stupid not
it's
to go with
really
clones.
stupid and doesn't save time on average.
Yeah.
So it's just better to clone now. And one of the unsung heroes of this new route is that since you don't watch the cutscene with the king dying, which is again extremely sad, since you
He's
don't
not
watch
dying, so he's being petrified though.
since you don't watch this cutscene, the guards never block the entrance of the castle, and you can just go through with your boots for...
Oh no, Nitroz didn't talk to Tingle.
Oh no!
So the brother didn't spawn.
Yep. That's pretty easily a 40-second time loss.
Yeah, it's really the worst mistake.
You need to focus, Nitroz. Come on. Well, meanwhile, Seceon and Martin are so close to each other. They're really toe to toe, and they just fuse the sword, and they're learning that you can make clones now. But what for? Should you ask? Well, exactly
first
for
it's
that.
cool to have clones.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess this is, most importantly, the last gimmick of that game. It's the last? I think it is, yeah. And it's gonna be used for puzzles and for some boss fights. And yeah, so now it's time to finish the boomerang quest. So fuse with the 2 remaining Tingle Bros, get the magical boomerang, and then get to the next dungeon.
And then you use the boomerang instead of flippers, because that's how it works.
Yep. So should we explain Lake House and what OGs are now, since it's quite a bit?
I guess.
Yeah, feel free. I'm gonna go grab something to drink.
Okay. So, how we're gonna enter the next dungeon? Because we need to... Like, usually you need the flippers to go there, because it's in the water. But actually, you can do what's called an Ocarina Glitch, which is basically you use the Ocarina at the same time you enter stairs or a doorway or something. And that will put Link in a weird state where he actually can't go down a layer. And with that, you will be able to just go on the water, like just walk on the water freely. And then you'll be able to just enter the dungeon that way. So that's how they're gonna do it. And that allows us to skip the flippers completely, because we won't need them in the dungeon either.
Yep, and that's the good stuff, because getting the flippers is
It's a really long quest.
yeah, how can we say that that's PG-13? It's very tedious, and no one wants to do that, really. So now Seceon is just lighting all the switches, followed by Martin, to get access to the magical boomerang. But before doing the 4th one, it's important to actually trigger the cutscene there that we skipped earlier with Vaidi and the Moblins fight. I think you can skip it now, but when you're gonna go to the castle to fuse your sword again,
you will have to trigger it anyway.
You will have to trigger it anyway, and if you actually open the path for the boomerang, you can do the fast strat to kill the Moblins, which is unfortunate.
So the fight is pretty easy, normally.
Well,
oh no, Seceon died.
Well, Martin did it correctly. You want to go all the way up, and as soon as you touch the rocks, go down, so that you can lure the Moblins. Moblins are not that difficult to deal with, but they deal a lot of damage if you get touched by the tip of the sword.
Heart, so.
Yep, and also their hitbox change depending if they are charging or not. So
now we've got the cutscene explaining
the origin story. So Ezlo was a Minish scientist, wizard, something.
Yeah, something like that.
He got betrayed by his apprentice,
who was in fact Vaidi.
And yep. And so this is why we met Ezlo on the way to the Minish Woods, because he was trying to do the same thing as us, stop Vaidi.
But he had a bit of trouble with it, being a hat and all.
Yeah, being turned into a hat duck thingy, you name it.
Seceon getting him back his fairy.
Yep, it's not a huge, well, it's still a pretty big time loss, but it could be worse.
The time loss is pretty much getting hit by the vines here. Because you will need to die to open the door of the lake house to do an Ocarina Glitch with it. So basically you're gonna die and open the door at the same frame, so you're not going to enter, but the door is gonna be open.
Exactly, and how do you do that? Well, there's a setup who was made by Schnee. So shout out to Schnee. Schneeheide, was it?
I don't know who made that setup.
Well, it's Yadra, but she changed her username, and I never know how to pronounce it. And yeah, so Martin messed up the setup. Basically, you want to drop bomb and start using your boots at the same frame, and Seceon messed it up as well. And then you do one roll and you shoot one arrow, and the trick is, well, it's a setup that's frame perfect, right? So as soon as you bomb, you want to hold up.
Not using as low. Great.
Oh,
yeah, he's gonna do it.
So this is the other method that only Martin does, really.
And he got it pretty easily. It's actually not really slower.
It's actually faster if you do it.
If you do it really fast, yeah.
If you do it correctly.
Oh no, he failed the OG though.
And so this was the first step, and the second step is to actually do the Ocarina Glitch. So as Ducky said, it's frame perfect. You either do what we call classic, which is the best version, and where you go 1 pixel away from the stairs or door, and you go up an ocarina 1 frame apart. Or you do what's called modern, and I'm gonna let Darky explain it since he literally invented it.
So modern is basically sliding diagonally. So that way, when you're going diagonally into a door or stairs, you can't really enter the stairs. So if you do that and you release the like left or right, so you only go up, and you press Ocarina on the same frame, you can get the OG that way. And if you're too late, instead of entering the door, Link will, I don't really know, like he will get stuck a bit for a few frames.
In the corner, yeah.
Yeah, so that way you don't enter, you just get stuck a bit, which is no problem. And you can attempt it again.
Yep, and it works for Lake House and for stairs.
If you enter the Lake House, then you have to reset, which loses a lot of time.
Yep. And so most people those days do modern. I think I'm still one of the old people who never bother to learn modern, except for Lake House, because Lake House is so.
I mean, I do modern because I can't do classic.
Because you invented it.
Yep.
Alright, so Temple of Droplets, a dungeon that's mostly broken. Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of the dungeon actually.
And yeah, so basically it's stuck in, well, I divided this dungeon into 3 parts. First part is to, I don't know, do a bunch of OGs, do what we call boss door clipping. Shout out to TLoZ, by the way.
That's true, you actually skip 3/3 of this dungeon.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
You do skip 3/3 of this dungeon. And then once you open everything and you are ready to go fight the boss, you actually have to go get the item of this dungeon, which is the lantern. And then you fight the boss itself with a manip, which is, once again, shout out to TLoZ for this amazing manip that was awaited for years.
We still don't really know how it works, but it
but it does.
That's what matters.
And that's a Christmas miracle that actually happened in February 2019, I remember. But yeah, ice physics, always a bummer. But and this is boss of clipping that Martin is doing. So this is why we get the magical boomerang. How I understand it is that since you can control the magical boomerang, the idea is you don't screen transition because the game sees that you are using it, and so you can move kind of out of bounds, just like in Cave of Flames. Not really out of bounds, but from another screen. And since you are on OG state, you don't fall immediately once you actually
it just pushes you back up.
The screen transition, and you can go back up, but it's dependent on your subpixel, and that's why they use the cane to check if they have the correct subpixels or not. And then it's just a matter of fighting those scissor beetles with boomerang because it's already equipped and the sword
And boomerang really helps.
yeah.
When you used to not have it, it was really a bad fight.
And you have to do this fight without the magical boomerang in glitchless, and
Yeah.
everybody hates it. Everybody. And then you push the first lever, and then it's just about going to the second level with yet another Ocarina Glitch, just like Martin is doing.
Yeah, as Martin's doing, you just go all the way to the other side of the dungeon. Not caring at all.
Yep. There's another way you could deal with this dungeon that would be, I think, faster, question mark, with the lily pad clip, but it requires the flippers, so it's completely
it would be
useless for
faster.
any percent.
It's the dungeon is faster to do with flippers.
Yeah.
But getting flippers is just so
All
annoying
that's been.
and long.
So Martin is gonna flip the second switch, whereas Nitroz and Seceon are actually at the same spot now. So
Nitroz going back in second place.
yeah, I haven't paid a lot of attention to how Nitroz has been doing, but it seems like it was good enough to get
Seems
back in
like
the
it.
game.
And
Shout
so
out to Fire.
we get the Octo out of his ice, but we're not gonna fight him yet because we still need to get the lantern for the fight.
Yep. Yeah, but I mean, maybe that's what we were saying earlier. You can do it, but it's losing time on average, because you're not gonna get 0 ink on average.
Yeah, that's not really what I call a faster route. I mean, it would be, but would make the run stupider than it is.
And so Seceon and Nitroz are now synced, and Martin is about to fight this mini boss to get the lantern. And what a mini boss is this is?
It's a regular chew that was actually up there. We don't really know why. It's just a copy of the first boss, but he's electric.
With a twist. So this boss is mainly about manipulating him to be in the center of the arena. The electric status is on a timer, so you just want to keep that in mind and lure it in the middle. And just like the green shoe, the third phase is either gonna charge or jump, except this time you want him to jump because it's much easier to adjust, to suck his foot, because he only has one instantly. Pretty well done from Martin.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to do it that efficiently, because those guys have been terrible
I
at
mean,
that
it
guy.
always depends on when he jumps and all, anyway.
Yeah, but
Just need to
Okay.
get lucky. And now he just jumps and it's done.
and it is done. And now, right after that, just need another 7 clip to do Octomanip. So how does Octomanip work, Starkey? Well, how does Octo
Okay.
work and how does Octomanip works? It's 3 cycles for Octo.
Yeah, Octo has 3 cycles, and usually on the 3rd cycle, he can either throw a boulder, like as usual, or do his ink attack, which is like 40 seconds long, maybe not that much, but which is really long, and he can do it 3 times. And so we want to avoid that, so there's a manip, which relies on Link's position mainly. And yeah, it works, and
it relies on a
don't really know
bunch
why,
of
but
stuff.
it does. Yeah,
The first 2 cycles are always the same. Octo is gonna throw 3 rocks, then on the second cycle he's gonna go like suck, rock, and loop back. And you want to light its tail in between cycle 1 and 2 and in between cycle 2 and 3. And as Ducky just said, for cycle 3 it's also gonna throw 3 rocks, suck you in and then speak to one rock and beat some ink, turn the screen black, or it's gonna charge. And it's all fun and games except that we want to go fast, and this particular movement that Martin is doing aims to force Octo into giving us what we want, which is 0 ink, which is the 3 rocks.
Now he's gonna look at the rocks that fall.
Yep. And this pattern is to do nothing.
Yep. He's just gonna wait and Octo will be dead.
And he wins the game.
Yep.
It's literally that easy.
A good manip.
Very, very well done.
Gonna see how it goes for Nitroz and Seceon. He really synced.
Yeah. I will say this is a pretty good run for Martin. Our PBs are basically the same, and
Martin's having a really good run.
he's less than a minute behind what the time we have. So for a race, it's very, very good. And so here we have the Ghost of the King, who tells us, "Yo, bro,
Go there and you
you
never
should-
go there.
you should come to the graveyard. The G fell off, so now it's a graveyard. We're gonna have such an amazing time together. Except that Link is 10 and he cannot drink alcohol yet, so he doesn't see the point of going to the graveyard, even if some old people try to lure him in. So we're just gonna go fuse the sword and do some glitchy shenanigans to get into the last dungeon.
Yeah, which basically skips like half an hour.
Yeah, it skips a lot because what you would normally have to do is go to Royal Valley, do the dungeon. He gives you Golden Kingstone to go to Vale Falls and open a path, and then you have to get up,
Cloud tops.
do cloud tops, and that's very long.
Yeah. It's basically 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, easily that amount, honestly. To give you an idea, glitchless is around 2 hours and 18 minutes, and N% is around 1 hour and 34, 35 for good runners. So that's the amount that skipped, basically. Almost an hour, actually.
Yeah.
And so again, the unsung heroes of this new route, not needing to go on the left through the maze with the soldiers. Truly a bliss. And now to get into Palace of Winds, which is the 5th and last dungeon, you can do it normally. So the idea is that you go through with some Ocarina glitches, of course, because while in OG state, nothing else has hitboxes active. So the idea is to go through that NPC just like that.
And you do that twice and you're up there.
Yep, it's literally that easy. Except that in EU version, you can do it, but you cannot climb down afterwards. And since you cannot use the Ocarina on the screen Martin is currently in the EU version, you would need to talk to the elder and make the NPC move aside. So this is it.
And he's in Palace of Winds right now. Pretty cool dungeon. There are some new things too.
Ooh. Yep, I would say it's way not shorter, but it's not as impactful as in the mid game, but it's still a very nice addition to that dungeon. Who has seen a first improvement with the angle retention glitches in 2019, where you could skip one room for 40 seconds, and now you skip another 40, I think. So
yeah, something like
very
that.
good. And
Also, Palace of Winds OG doesn't save time anymore.
yeah, I mean, let's say it never did, right? Like
It always did.
it always did, yeah, but it was very dumb. So for those who don't know it, Martin is having some
he's buffering.
stuttering. Okay, it's good. So quickly, this is a wizard fight to
Really
get,
good looking.
yeah, very good fight to get the cape. So for once, you actually get the dungeon item very early, and you can do that fight with sword and bombs. But I think only TLoZ does that. It's really, I know it's kind of difficult. Oh no,
Oh, he
Martin.
failed the jump.
That jump is not that hard, but it's kind of tight. So it's now without the bird, it might be harder to do it. Anyway,
And you got it.
there we go. Don't remember what I was about to say for all that. Oh yeah, Palace of Winds OG, which is actually a cutscene OG. When you have a few instances in the game where you kill an enemy and it triggers a cutscene. On the first frame the enemy dies, you can actually play the ocarina to try to get into an OG state. But it's one frame, of course, because it's an OG, but it's also one chance because you
can't
only
do it again.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I mean, you
It's
only have
stupid.
one cutscene trigger.
So Martin did the stair clip pretty fast.
Yep, there's a nice setup. I think that was found by TLoZ because it's pixel and subpixels. That's why they fall down to reset their subpixels, and the bow is there to pick the right pixel.
And now
Nitroz
he's
and
gonna use
Seceon are
angle
still
retention. Oh yeah, that's so synced. Martin is using angle retention again to jump in diagonal and get in the wall.
Yep, get on second layer, skip that door, and not having to get another small key. And now it's all about some movement, some cycles. Okay, both first try. This stair clip should always be first try once you know what you are doing. Unlike the one in DHC where I've heard that the setup, I'm not sure it works. Everybody told me it's just impossible. Fun fact, you can jump there. And you only need to get on the second cloud for that screen transition. And now the ball and chain guys. This is a room where you would do an OG back in the day to try and save 40 seconds.
Yeah.
But
It's
thanks
not
God.
useful anymore.
Thank God.
Thankfully.
It is behind us forever.
And you can just go get the boss key here.
Boss key, yep. And well, usually for any who is not getting the fairy there, I always get the fairy there because I'm a baby.
Usually the boss door is just half of the dungeon.
Yep,
You
but
have still at least a good half after
you can do another boss door clipping either by using the boomerang or by using the lantern, which is around a half a second window. You use the lantern and you have to open the
really
door.
easy.
Yeah.
And you just get to the boss.
Just like that.
The boss which can be pretty hard sometimes.
Yep, it is called the Gaiok pair, but there are several blue ones and only one red one, so why is it a pair? I don't know. So the red one is the female, the blue ones are the males, and the idea is to use the clones to whack the eyes of the big one and to do a spin attack and try to hit the blue one twice. Because you need to hit it 4 times and you can spin attack does double damage and you can hit it twice.
It's a regular speedrun and not a rando.
Damn, Chess is like, it's a regular speedrun, sad face. Wow. Wow,
Wow.
sir. Wow. Anyway, it's coming swiftly for Martin. The main thing you want is, well, to kill the blue ones with a spin attack and to kill the red one without losing your clones. So far so good.
Sometimes the blue one can be pretty annoying.
Especially in the third phase where Martin is currently, because he's gonna fly through like that. And, well, what you really don't want is to be impatient, because...
Okay, that went well.
Yeah. And now the final cycle, the easiest, you can always get the... Well, it was slightly too late, but it's really easy to get a video preview for when the eye is gonna open on the last cycle.
And so the boss is dead.
And that's the last of Queens. Meanwhile, Seceon and Nitroz are on the boss. I don't really know what they are because I didn't pay attention.
I don't know either, but
Because I cannot
pretty
do
much all
two things
things
at
anyway.
once. Yeah.
It will all
Well,
depend
there-
on Vadi.
There you've seen Seceon lost his clones, but depending on how the eyes open on the red gyros, just like Nitroz there, you can do it cloneless.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's a little bit precise position-wise, but it's really not difficult. And now,
Seceon finished too.
yep, so Seceon is on the second place right now. And Nitroz right behind him. So now it's all about fusing the sword with the 4 elements, getting the 4 sword and saving everyone,
Yeah,
right?
that's basically it.
So what was the estimate I get? Was it 1:45? So it's been 1 hour 22, I feel like. So it feels like we're gonna be more than 10 minutes ahead.
Yeah, those are 3 good runs. I mean, things can still happen. Maybe.
Maybe. And yeah, so late game is definitely the difficult part. Well, I don't know. There's a lot happening, but mainly, well, you have the final boss, which is around 7 minutes when things go well.
Can be easily 9 minutes.
Or 10. Nitroz will save 6 minutes with Vadi, and I believe that. I'm so ready to see it happen. And so this is the beam moment of the run where everybody can ask Martin why he did reset his run, because we're gonna watch the intro again, except with a small twist. The twist being that there's one extra panel.
Yeah, saying that the life force is actually inside Zelda.
All along.
And we actually opened that door so Vadi can see that it's actually inside Zelda. It's all our fault.
Yep, classic. Everything was fine and you actually screwed up everything yourself.
Yep. Because Vadi finds out.
And then he's like, yo, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna transform this castle and I'm gonna extract the life force or life essence or whatever it is from Zelda. So the first half of Ocarina of Time, kind of, yeah. Only 10 minutes to fix it instead of 7 years, yep. And so now Martin's gonna do what we call cutscene walking. The idea is to interrupt a cutscene state while Link cannot move by a Nuzlocke text, just like that. Normally
so now
you
he can walk inside the cutscene.
Yep. Normally you have to wait for the guy to talk to you and so on, but now you don't have to wait for each guy. It saves around 7 seconds. It's really easy and I don't know, it's just cool.
And he's
And
gonna do
now-
another stair clip.
Yep, time for another set clip. How does this one work, Darky?
He just went, hoping it will work. I mean, it's one of the strats you can do because anyway that Moblin is gonna be
Ooh,
in
that was
front of
very
you.
fast.
It works like half of the time, like half of of your subpixels are gonna work, pretty
Yeah.
much.
There's
So you can
a
just go and
both
hope
setup.
it works.
Yeah, there's also a bow setup, like to go into position. I think I'm gonna start using that because I can't see the right line with the four sword because it charges and then you
Yeah,
go into
it's-
the
It's
spin
not
attack.
easy,
So
but
it's, yeah,
then you have to kill the Moblin, I guess.
I always kill the Moblin, dude. It's always
I mean, it depends on his RNG.
yeah.
And he's gonna
now-
do a really cool trick, which is
How?
called Cannonless.
Yep, cannonless.
Oh no, I felt it was
so
like
sad.
1 pixel too far to the right or something.
Yeah, the bomb was slightly too much to the right. Whatever, it's not a huge deal. It's
But it looks really cool.
yeah, it looks cool when you get it. But okay, Nitroz is doing his stair clip. Seceon is cool with it. There, for all of you who've played Pokemon Emerald, this is the exact same thing.
Yeah,
I guess there's the same thing in Ages, but I'd rather compare it to Pokemon Emerald for some reason.
yeah. I mean, that's the first time I saw that kind of puzzle too.
And so Martin got his first key. The deal with that dungeon, because this is the last dungeon truly, is to get 4 small keys so that you can get the boss key. Also, Seceon just got Cannonless, that was pretty sick.
Yeah,
And
good
Nitroz
job.
is gonna go for it. Looks
So
good.
there's gonna be
Let's
lots
go.
of OGs.
Yep, you actually
And
do.
at the end here, it's never easy to do OGs.
Yep, with the fatigue from the whole run and when you're on PB pace. Cannonless best trick in the game.
It's a really good trick.
It's a very good trick. I will give you that. And so the idea is to get an OG, go back there so that you can climb the stairs and be on second layer, and then you stay on second layer and you go grab some keys. You go on this tower. I don't know which one it is.
So here he gets his second key. And he's gonna do the same thing to get the key in the bottom
In the-
right tower.
Yep, eastern side.
Yep.
And then there's some more of the castle to explore, to deal with, get the last key, activates 2, what I call it, 2 teleporters, and then it's time for the manip for the end game. Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah, but not that easy when you're
No,
at the end
yeah.
of your run.
It's a pretty long dungeon. You have OGs, you have some door jumps to do because you are basically doing the dungeon backwards. You have a bunch of enemies. You have the stair clip, which is another RNG point, I suppose,
Yeah, because of the Moblin.
and because of the subpixels.
Oh yeah, that too. So that's the last Ocarina Glitch of the game that Martin's going to do.
Yep. And he's struggling to do the OG because he put Ocarina on A. Remember,
Okay,
Ocarina, just like Sword, belongs on B. Nowhere else.
that's true. And now he's gonna do some door clipping, I guess.
Some door-
jumps.
door
I don't
jumps.
know how you call that.
The idea is to do a small diagonal jump on the edge of the screen transition so that you can climb on second layer, and once you transition, you can just hop off. Okay, that guy didn't want to turn around. Okay, so it's all good in the hood, and now Martin is still on OG, so he won't fall in the pit.
You can just walk there.
Yep. Using the boomerang here is better because you can use it on the sparks right after to refill your health. which
Yeah.
pretty much
And
everybody
it's
does.
also optimized for the menu to use the boomerang there.
Yeah. Okay, he decides to not heal.
Oh, he tried to do the fast strat here.
Yeah, but well, I mean,
I don't even know how it works. I never attempted it. But
I've seen it and it looked very jank. And someone
Yep.
told me it saves half a second. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm out.
That's why I didn't bother learning it.
Okay, Nitro's getting bullied.
Oh no,
Okay.
Nitroz.
If Nitroz picks the 50 rupees, you only would need one more to have a nice amount, but he did not pick it up.
Each of
It's
them
so
are
sad.
really low on health.
Yeah, but
But
it's
Seceon
doesn't
has
really
a
matter.
fairy, I think.
Oh, he does. I mean, they can both get fairies from the
Fairies on the
sparks.
sparks, yeah.
Yep.
Really good fight by Martin.
Yeah, Seceon is reasonable, and Nitroz too. Whereas Martin entering the fake spike doors,
Yeah, the fake
fake-
spike room.
fake spike room.
Because you're in
and-
OG state, you can't get hit by the spikes.
Yeah,
So they are fake spikes.
and here the ghost room is he gonna get? No ghost boost. Ghost boost is an urban legend, and we just wish to see it once more.
And so Martin got 4 keys.
4 keys, but only 2.5 hearts. And it's time
That's true.
for the manip. So, what is Martin gonna manip there?
He's gonna manip the whole fight. Like the last boss is actually in separate rooms. There are a kitten room, there are a darknet room, and then actual Vadi. So the goal is to manipulate all of that.
So yeah,
I can never do it.
in the beginning, the deal was to try and get the first darknet, the black one, because it's the one that takes 7 hits. The 2 reds take 5 to charge, and then it was bit by bit improved. You wanted 2 charges, 3 charges, and then you could extend it to Vadi 1 and then extend it to Vadi 2. You can't really do it until Vadi 3 because of the Minish portals, because that roll RNG every frame. But this has recently become a more standard strat for top runners to go at least until Vadi 1.
Yeah, but it's impossible.
And yeah, okay, I'm not sure this is what Martin wanted to do, because the kittens were kind of weird.
Yeah. Let's see.
At least he's getting the dark one to charge.
Seems to work.
No, the
yeah, it's not the right drops, but I mean, he's doing it.
he's doing something good at least. Yep, maybe he just knows what he's doing. Anyway, it's
It was a really good darkness fight.
yep, it
But
was very
now-
clean.
I don't know if he can extend it to Vadi 1. Is it your manip? Okay,
he's
he's doing an
doing
actual manip, it seems.
Z manip. Okay, so maybe he's right on track.
So yeah, he's just a gamer.
I always believed him. Okay, Nitroz is definitely
Nitroz is having really-
doing something weird.
He's making his own manip on the run.
So yeah, Martin is doing Vadi manip. Vadi can either, well, he has in the NPSN 5 cycles. Ooh, okay.
It's actually going really well.
I hope it's going well for him. So you have 3 cycles with only eyes, and then 2 cycles where the eyes have some rocks on it. And Vadi can teleport. He can throw some curse at you. That looks like a rock that you have to use a Gaja to suck in, and he can use some fire blast. What you don't want to happen is him teleporting 1,000 times because it's too slow,
It's gonna happen though. It always happens.
unless you manip it. And it was very good for Martin. I think he messed up the manip at the end, but he got pretty lucky.
He made his own manip.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Seceon is not maniping, and I'm not
No,
sure
he
about
got a
Nitroz.
Keystone drop
Oh yeah,
in the darkness.
yeah. And seeing how Nitroz is smashing, he probably is not maniping. And then Vadi 2, well, another very RNG and difficult boss. You
It
can do
can
it
be
in
really easy, or it can be the worst fight ever.
yeah. You can do it in 3 cycles instead of 3. The idea is to use the bow with the boots to cancel the animation. We didn't talk about that, but you can cancel the arrow animation with boots
So you can
to
shoot arrows really fast.
to shoot the 4 eyes. Just like Mazal, it cannot be twice in a row on the same
The same
side.
pattern of eyes, yeah.
And he can throw some purple spiky stuff. He can make some rocks fall. Can use some
Yeah,
electric
here
attacks.
he's hugging the left wall, which is really
Not
the
what you
worst thing
want.
he can do.
Yep. So pretty huge time loss
And
for
everyone
Martin
is
there.
on value 2 now.
They are. Okay, one more cycle. The idea for the last cycle is to do exactly what he did before. On cycle 2 and 3, you want to do a spin attack with 4 clones and add quickly 1 slash. Okay, Seceon seems to be
Shouldn't
doing
be too
pretty
hard.
good.
Oh no, Martin.
Oh no, you're so fucked,
No.
Martin.
He let go of the sword button too early.
Yep, just before. So now Seceon might have a chance at winning. And Nitroz, I think, is right behind. Yep, they're all very close.
Yeah.
We were not lying when
Usually
we told you.
value 3 is not a problem. But things can happen still.
I mean, you can still lose a bunch of time. I've known
Yeah.
people who died a lot to value 3.
You mean starting with 9, finishing with TLoZ?
Well, yeah. And the real question is how many of them is gonna do polar item with the cane, because that's the real swag point that they have to reach for. So yeah, anyway, Vardy 2 is dead. Vardy is dead, and we saved Zelda, and the game is over.
They probably know about the fairies here.
Martin knows, but he's gonna be like, you know what? Screw this. I don't need that.
You think so? 3 hearts is pretty hard. I'd get the fairy.
Martin is a gamer. He will skip them.
That's true.
Oh,
Look, he's gonna go get the fairy.
What
I
the
mean,
heck,
that's
man?
normal with 3 hearts.
What the
He
heck,
took
man?
some bombs and arrows because, you know, he didn't remember where the fairy was.
What's more important is
Seceon
getting polar item.
already has a fairy in the bottle, so...
Oh, okay.
And now Nitroz is ahead.
Yeah, now Nitroz is barely ahead. So it's gonna depend on RNG.
So
Like,
yeah,
Martin
time
is
will be
getting-
on the last hits on Valley 3.
Yep.
It's gonna
Martin
be
is
pretty hard.
getting a very quick first arm. They're actually tied. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin goes with boomerang strat. Nitroz
Will
does
it
not.
work? No. Oh yeah, kind of.
Alright. Is Nitroz gonna do polar items?
I hope so. I can never get it. So hard having the right timing.
Oh, he's doing it. I
No,
got
too
it, but it
early.
was slightly too early.
It was like a
It's
few frames early.
a disaster. And now he actually uses boomerang strat, and ooh, pretty nice. He pushed in.
Nitroz is having a really good fight. He's first now.
Yep. Got back first. So yeah, we are not explaining what you need to do for this fight, but I guess it's pretty much self-explanatory.
Just hit the things.
And now, once you kill the two eyes, the two arms, you have to whip back some volleys of energy balls. And you want to be a few pixels too much to the right rather than a few pixels too much to the left. That's
And
one.
time will be soon for Nitroz.
I'm hoping he's gonna do the bomb kill, otherwise I'm gonna be mad. Yes. No,
No,
the
arrows.
arrow
and
kill. Let's
time.
go.
And time for Seceon too.
And Martin
And
with
time
his
for
own kill.
Martin.
Oh my god,
It
this
was
was
so synced.
Holy shit!
it was all very close.
How was it so close?
That's TMC, baby.
That's an amazing race. Holy shit. GG to all three of them. I
Yeah,
hope they are
GG,
joining
Nitroz,
us.
Seceon, and Martin.
That's amazing. Sub 2 finally.
Yes, sub 2.
That's amazing. So yeah, I hope the three of them are joining us quickly.
Yep, here they are.
Hello.
Hey, Martin is probably mad.
No.
I'm waiting for Nitroz.
I believe I forgot what
Yeah.
part
Here
it
they
is
are.
in, dude.
Congratulations to all three
Yeah,
of you.
good
That was
job.
a very good race with all the twists we can expect from TMC.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Nitroz for winning with the bow kill. That's such a
For winning
pro
by
gamer
like
move.
2 seconds.
That's such a
Thank
power
you.
move.
The end was so intense.
People will talk about this race for years to come. I agree.
Yeah, for sure.
All the way until TMC 2, yeah.
Yeah.
So never. This is sad.
No, forever.
Well, okay. Yeah.
So what I propose is, I guess we don't have a lot of time. What was the best and the worst moment of your runs? Each of you have 5 seconds. Go. Nitroz.
The best was cannonless.
Ooh.
The best trick in the run. The worst was starting the run in the first place because the run was terrible.
Oh boy.
All right. I can respect that. What about you, Seceon?
I agree. The best part was cannonless, best trick in the game.
Oh.
And the worst part was when I failed the boulder thing in
Oh, yeah.
Mount Crenel and had to re-enter the...
Uh,
Yeah, that was funny. And every OG, I hate OGs.
That was pretty
Please.
silly, yeah. All right, and you, Martin?
best part was when I forgot which pot the fairy was in, and then the worst part
You
was
needed those bombs in a row.
also when I forgot which pot the fairy was in.
Oh boy. All right. That was 1 race and a half. Thank you so much for that one. That was a great finish. Also, a big shout out to PK and to Darky for the commentary. And to emulators working the way they were intended to work. Shout outs.
Shoutouts to Bizok.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Visa.
Yeah, shout outs to Bisog indeed. Alright folks, this was great. I hope you're all gonna stick around because next up we're gonna have 4 Swords Adventures. Holds Engineer Hider doing co-op any %, which is gonna be another crazy 2D-ish run of The Legend of Zelda. And I hope you're all gonna be back for that one. So until then, stay tuned and thank you all for watching so far.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you around.
Bye.
See ya.